Today, we're going to look at the first preseason game of the NBA, which occurred on October 5th. We're going to discuss the actual really interesting dichotomy that existed between the two teams playing here. And given that it was the Mavericks versus the Timberwolves, and each team, the first most important thing is they went completely opposite routes in developing their strategy as a basketball team. So the Timberwolves, as you can notice, they have Towns and Towns and Rudy Gobert are the two most central pieces, maybe Anthony Edwards. But the bigs are the most notable pieces. They went essentially to have the most physically imposing, the largest lineup that you can have on the court. And the Mavericks, on the other hand, they went the exact opposite way, where essentially they went as small as they could, with notably adding in Kyrie down here, as well as having Luka as a mainstay, and like people like Seth Curry, where you're just having 3-point shooters. And essentially your big is going to be Powell right here, who is like not a big by most NBA standards. So these two teams went completely polar opposites, and we're going to discuss essentially why the Timberwolves dominated this game. Like from start to beginning, you can see it's 29-9, and they did not look back. The Timberwolves played great defense and great offense, frankly, in the first half, which is probably the most important half. First example we're going to look a little bit closer at is, first off, the Timberwolves set a high ball screen. The reason I like this so much is because it forces the defense to come up with the bigs. They can't sag off because they're worried about wherever the screen he decides to go is him getting downhill quickly. This also makes it so the defense is slightly communicated, slightly off balance for who has the ball and who has the rolling big, which creates a relatively good, that was a decent pass. He probably could have passed to Gobert, frankly, right there. But instead, because this help defense had to come so far down, he makes a good pass across the other side and penalizes them by overhelping by making a three on the perimeter. And the other example, more concrete here, we have the two bigs in the game. This time it's Reed. Cat's not in the game. We get the ball screen set up top. The Mavericks are switching. Yep, they look like they're switching. Maybe Kyrie's not a huge fan of this. But essentially, what this comes down to is if the Mavericks can't stop this, they're not going to be able to win these kinds of games. Okay, so if they are willing to concede Kyrie on Naz Reid right here and not have massive amounts of help, you're just going to lose the games. Okay, so here the first thing is this big is helping down, or quote-unquote big, is helping down because obviously Kyrie's going to need some assistance in this situation. This is also help right here, and they are both tentatively helping but not aggressively helping. If you're going to go in this super small lineup, you have to aggressively help on this, and you just have to concede this pass or this pass out here. And you have to take away these post players. And you just got to live with that, because you cannot let Naz Reid get decent looks against Kyrie in the middle with really very little resistance. Even here, he's afraid of fouling. So he sees one body, and it's Kyrie, who's undersized and underweighted compared to him. That's something that you can't allow, and that's the big reason why the Timberwolves were so dominant in this first preseason game. That being said, it's a super interesting dichotomy, and it obviously represents a bigger scope of whether you should go big or go small. So happy for the Timberwolves, excited to see how the season plays out. I wish the best for the Mavericks as well. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.